Man, okay. So I went to Rite Aid the other day, and I've been waiting for at least a week to try these. And I decided I want to try these on camera. I was feeling my old Wilt self come out. I always would try new foods on camera for Wilts, and people would often ask me, why do you do that? And most of the time it was because I don't have an idea for that day. No, it wasn't that. It's just like eating things is such a, you know, ubiquitous part of life, right? I mean, you do it 3 times a day at least if you're healthy. Uh, I sometimes eat 1 meal a day, and sometimes is a very that's a nice way. That's a very generous term to use because it happens. I would say more than often. But what are we trying today, right? What did I go to Rite Aid and find? Well, it is Hershey's Zero Sugar Chocolate. That's right. um, this is ridiculous, right? I mean, I talked about it on this podcast, I go and get cookies and I want the most unhealthy cookies because I've already committed to cookies. I'm doing a bad thing. Let's just do the worst thing. Now, of course, you got to be a little, cautious with that logic. You could go overboard. Too much of a good thing and too much of a bad thing is not great. Actually, isn't that interesting? Too much of a good thing at some point turns into too much of a bad thing? No, that's wrong. Right when I was starting to say it, I'm like, you idiot, that's not how that works. But too much of a good thing is a bad thing. This is so stupid. Anyways, let's give this a try. I want to start this episode by trying Hershey's chocolate candy, zero sugar. Let's put you on camera here. You see that? How dope is that? Also, up here it says, what does it say? New name, same great taste, which I think is really stupid because what do you mean new name? You think people are going to call this Hershey's chocolate candy zero sugar? You think people are just going to be saying that? Like, hey, yo, bro, can you pass me a Hershey's chocolate candy zero sugar real quick? Think about your branding, Hershey's, okay? Also, your candy. Why are you making candy without sugar? That's kind of... What are you doing? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. So, I didn't want to open it. I know you should maybe open it as prep before you start the episode. Yeah, I know. We run a high production over here, but I didn't forget that, okay? I purposely didn't open these because I wanted to show you. This is how much integrity I have. I wanted to show you that this is truly the first time I'm trying these. So, I haven't even opened it. And this is the only bag in the world that exists, which means if I didn't open this, there's no way I could have tried it. That's exactly what that means. So, cut it on camera. What if I have 2 bags down here and I just did a quick swap? No, you can see. Look. Oh, but I could have had 2 bags. Still works the same way. Okay. Oh, I hate this packaging. I know we're trying to be like healthier. Okay, let's focus up. I know we're trying to be healthier and eat Hershey's Zero Sugar, but do you realize how much packaging this is? Like the usual ones, I feel like they're much smaller packaging. It's just very flush on the piece of chocolate, and they're also made of paper. These are made of plastic. This is already, I mean, you got to do some kind of cost-benefit analysis, right, of eating this. Because is the amount of health that we're saving for humans by eating zero sugar chocolate worth how much we're murdering the environment? It's something you got to take into account, folks. And that's why we go to school. So you can do calculations like that. Let's go ahead and open this on camera. Oh, yeah? Oh, wow. Okay. There's a little chocolate shaving somewhere on my table, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't have sugar. It's not going to attract ants. That's why all my mom's sisters love me because I'm just so sweet. Yeah, that's right. This sugar attracts all the ants. Okay. I don't even have ants. Let's try this. So it looks the exact same as these chocolates usually do. Remember, it's the same. Well, what is it? What did they say? It's the new name. Same great taste, but they don't say shit about the shape. Okay, that's great. because we don't see shape. All shapes are beautiful when it comes to chocolate, but not humans. There's only a right shape. Can you imagine if I just came out and started body shaming everyone? Okay. That would actually make sense, though. Someone that eats zero sugar chocolate would definitely be just an atrocious body shamer. Because there's no way you eat this and you're like stable in the brain, right? So I've eaten half. You always got to do the test, right? When you eat something that's like an alternative or like a healthier version, the first test you do is like, would I be able to tell the difference if you gave me this one and you didn't tell me that it was any different? And honestly, I hate that I'm about to say it, but taste-wise, it's not that different. The consistency, once you start chewing it, you know, you apply that saliva and everything to it, it does get a little, it is a different texture, consistency. It's a little softer. It's a little more gooey. Whereas I feel like real chocolate has this hardness to it. Either that or I've been eating just stale chocolate forever. Is that what happens? No, I think really fresh chocolate is hard. I mean, if you focus on getting that hit of sugar that you usually do from chocolate, it's not there. But I'm looking for it. That's the problem. I'm looking for this thing that doesn't exist. You know, it'd be hilarious if these did have sugar and they just like wanted to fuck with us and they're like, they don't have sugar. And then all of us are like, oh, yeah, I can definitely taste it. And they're going to come out in like 7 years, arbitrary number. And they're going to be like, hey, guess what? All those zero sugar chocolates, yeah, we put sugar in them. Actually, no, they're going to be technically correct because there's so many like legal implications with lying about something like that. Like they made their whole brand new name around the fact that there's zero sugar. So they wouldn't be able to lie about that. No, they're not going to put sugar in it, right? They're safe there, but they're going to substitute it with like crack. And that's how they're going to still make this shit addictive. Which one do you think is more addictive, crack or sugar? I've only tried sugar, so as a scientist, there's only one way to find out. We do test. And along with this zero sugar Hershey's, guess what else I have? I just pull out crack. No, I don't have that. That's, it's only episode 49. I wouldn't bust something out. Bust that out for episode 49. What's special about 49, huh? 7 squared? Who gives a shit? It was a channel Cartoon Network was on growing up? Yeah, whatever. 1 less than 50? All right. What's so special about 50? It's half of 100. No one gives a shit. Anyways, would I recommend this stuff? Honestly, for being chocolate, it's not bad. Like if you do get into the granularities of your sugar intake and stuff like that, I would recommend it. It still tastes dope. I don't think it's as dope as the real thing, but dope enough, Dope enough to give you that dopamine. You feel me? All right. I almost wasn't going to do that review today because I was so full earlier because I ate just so much sugar. And it's not healthy what I eat. But that was a few hours ago. I've been like kind of chilling, relaxing because like my shower, no hot water. This apartment, I don't know if anyone else was getting it. Just my whole apartment, every sink, the shower, no hot water. And it was such an embarrassing. I got in the shower and I turned on the water. Well, no, that's a lie. Does anyone do that? Does anyone get in a shower and then turn on the water? No, that's insane, right? Like, what if, and this isn't why I do it, but I'm just saying this is something to look out for. What if you get in a shower, you turn it on, and boom, like shit water starts spraying at you? I've had that before. Like, I've had water come out of my sink, and it's orange. And I'm like, no way, McDonald's brought Hi-C back? Hell yeah. That was my shit growing up. But I'm like, what if it's just like toxic water, You don't want to be in the shit when it's spilling. You feel me? I think actually, like, Liam Neeson said that. That's a Liam Neeson quote right there. You don't want to be in the shit when it's spilling. Yeah. He rapped that. That's a bar right there. Liam Neeson, the rapper. Nope. There's. I could do things with that, and I'm not going to. But the reason I don't get into the shower before turning the water on is because of a temperature thing. It's purely temperature. But this time, I still did it normally. I turned the water on. I let it run. I noticed. I was like, huh. It's not really warm. It's like ever so slightly warm, but it's not really warm. But I was like, I have to shower. So, I'll just turn. First, it like spurts out the bath faucet, right? And then when you pull the thing, then it comes out of the shower faucet. So I was like, okay, maybe when you do a transfer, heat rises. So I'm like, well, what if when it goes up there, it gets hot? That totally checks out. Remember, I'm a scientist. I know these things. And so I was like, okay, well, let's turn the shower head on, spurt out the water, boom. It's going to be hot. It gets up there. Actually, it got cooler. I don't know how that was possible, but when the water got put up there, yeah, no, it got even colder. I was like, okay, well, once again, I have to shower. So I don't know why I was so optimistic, but I was like, let's get in, show the shower. I'm in business, get in. It's like, hey, you go to an office, like, hey, can I speak to this person who's like the manager around here? And they're like, sorry, honey, you're going to have to come back tomorrow. It's like, well, no, I'm here and here's my portfolio. Let me talk to him. And they're like, he's out. I'm like, I can see him right there. They're like, I knew we should have gotten privacy blinds. This is so bullshit how they keep calling us on that. He tells us to say he's out and then he's there. What the fuck? And they're like, okay, fine. Wait in the waiting room. I'm like, thank you. That's what I was trying to do with this shower. I was trying to be like, I see your manager right there. You better make this shit hot. And they're like, oh, shit water? I'm like, no, that's not what I meant. They're like, more shit water coming through. And then boom, brown water. I don't have my glasses on when I shower, right? Because I'm a normal person with glasses. There was a point, I don't know if it was just my mind playing games with me. I actually thought the water was brown at one point. And I was like, yeah, well, it could just be my skin reflecting off of it. Who knows? But at one point I was like, yeah, this is shit water, isn't it? But I couldn't see, and I was kind of blurry because my eyes specifically. So I was like, let's just hope it's not. That's all you can do in that situation. When you're like ankle deep in shit water, or like suspected shit water, yeah, there's really, I mean, your options are really binary. Get in or stay, or get out or stay in. Yeah, I mean, your options are pretty binary. You can either watch Jordan Peele's movie or do what you do in winter break. You can get out or stay in. Boom. But I was like, I'm a trooper. I still show them I mean business. Okay, I'm not going anywhere. This is not gonna shake me. Okay. If I got feces feet, who gives a shit? Okay, I mean goddamn business. If I got shit souls, well, I always knew my heart was crap. That's a multi-level joke right there. That's a play on feet, souls, shit souls, and then also heart, soul, crappy heart. Anyways, I don't use a brown heart emoji. I don't get, when the fuck are you supposed to use a brown heart emoji? The only time I can think of using a brown heart emoji is if someone's like brown lab, like their brown Labrador dies, and you want to say, oh, I'm sorry, like best wishes. That's the only time I could see a brown heart being acceptable. Or if like a candy company, like, these motherfuckers get canceled once they reveal that they put cocaine in the shit. Then when they send out their apology, they're going to put a little brown heart at the bottom. And we're like, oh my God, it's consistent with their brand. How sweet is that? But I was in the shower and it never heated up. I was in there for like 10, 15 minutes. I tried to just get my hair wet. I tried to put like one leg in, one leg out. I was like doing the hokey pokey and the shit. And nah, I couldn't wait it out. I couldn't big dog my shower. So I was like, okay, let me just accept my losses. I turn that shit off and I dry myself off. And I felt so, there's no one else here, but there's a certain level of like vulnerability and like humiliation you feel. Like it felt like I was in in front of an audience of 90 people, and I told a joke that I was like, "Oh, this is definitely gonna land," and no one. You can hear someone be like, "Hey, can I get a ranch with my wings?" And you're like, "Oh fuck." It felt like that. I felt like an idiot because like only parts of my body were wet. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like it was such a gross thing, and I was really like banking on that shower. Like, you ever do that? Like I've done this, and I did it today. You kind of just I don't know, you just feel dirty, but then you're like, that shower will just take care of it. You know, like it'll be like a reset. And I didn't get my reset. Not only that, I just got partially wet. And it was like, what, what the fuck? This is so uncomfortable. Like my right arm and like my left leg were wet. And then like all my hair was wet. And then that was it. And so then it was like dripping on my back. I was like, all right. This is so fucking gross. And then I had to do online class. And so I did that, and it was like, well, hopefully my shower's good by the time I'm done. I mean, it was. So I ate dinner and I showered. But when I ate dinner, I had like way too much dessert, you know? And so I was like, well, I can't eat those Hershey's I thought I was going to eat later today because, damn, similar to a turkey next week, I am stuffed. Why is stuffing always just a side? Because isn't stuffing, doesn't that mean it implies it goes in something, right? But why is stuffing never in anything? You know? That's like if you went to Build-A-Bear, and you know the stuffing you shove in the bear's ass, or however Build-A-Bears are made. That's like if they gave you the bear's skin, and then they gave you the stuffing separately, and you're like, so I put them together, and they're like, no. That's not how we do things here. I'm like, what the fuck? And then you notice they're all pilgrims, and you're like, oh, I get it. And then you're like, wait a minute, they just gave me a blanket 5 minutes ago. Oh, fuck. So yeah, why is stuffing outside the turkey? Is it not supposed to be stuffed inside the turkey? I mean, what else do you stuff? You can't stuff mashed potatoes. You can only, oh, maybe stuffing stands for stuffing your fat face. That's right. Your fat face, not mine. Because I eat Hershey's, chocolate candy, 0 sugar. I'm healthy as fuck. But I was real full because I ate these. I love these things. There's 2 desserts I love from Trader Joe's. It's the brookie. I've never called it the brookie, but that's what it's called. There's a brookie, which is a brownie cookie. My favorite. Oh my God. I eat like 1 or 2 of these a week. It's disgusting. It's actually horrible for me. But I love it so much. It's, what is it? Nope. That's a bad analogy. We'll leave that one alone. Just know that it's like eating dessert. That's what it is. Eating this dessert is like eating dessert. It feels so good, but you feel like shit. You know what I'm saying? And then there's another thing I love from Trader Joe's. It's this ice cream cookie sandwich. Chocolate chip cookie, vanilla ice cream, mini chocolate chips encasing the outside of that vanilla ice cream. Oh, love it. So I go to Trader Joe's because I was already out and about earlier this week. And I was like, well, I don't leave the house often. I usually only go out on Fridays. Yes, it's a problem. Multiple people have told me this. I've even told myself this every day because I'm stuck at this desk 6 days a fucking week. I can't wait for winter break. Because then I get to spend more time in the bed watching movies and shit. So, you know, I get to move away from this desk. But I go out, you know, because I'm already out, and this is a rare thing, so let's make the most of it. So I go to Trader Joe's, and I get these 2 desserts that I love, you know, the brookie and the chocolate chip ice cream sandwich, which is dope. And I go to pay, and the guy's like, yep, right here. You know, no one's coming to my counter. I bet you're wondering why. Well, it's because I'm big into crypto, and I try to sell my customers on investing with me. What? That's no. See, I was gonna go somewhere really inappropriate, but I was like, why would I? I'm not gonna. I don't know this guy. Why would I make that joke about him? So I went with crypto, and then it didn't pan out. Now we're here. God damn it. Anyways, I went to this Trader Joe's cashier, and I hand him these 2, you know, chocolate chip based dessert items, chocolate chip cookie based dessert items, and he's like, Wow. I love the balance here. I was like, all right, cool. How about you give me my balance before I balance you? That's right. I'm going to fucking level your ass. If I hear one more snarky goddamn comment, just tell me what my total is and I'm going to hop on out of here. Okay? I don't like this level of judgment that we have. This rapport that we just built, let's just break it down, bro. All right? I elected to come here. I can now see why no one comes to your register. All right? Just scan me and get me through here. No, he was a very nice guy. He said, these brookies, I had to stop buying them. I was like, yeah? And he was like, yeah, just ate too many of them. I was like, dude, I know. I eat like 1 to 2 of these a week. It's a problem. Well, I mean, it's terrible. Well, it's not terrible. I love it, but it's terrible for me. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I get you, bro. I was like, thanks, man. He was like, can you swipe your card again? It looks like it didn't, get approved. I was like, yeah, no problem. I was like, fuck, I'm trying to steal these. No, I wasn't. I would never. I don't condone theft, petty theft. What is petty theft versus theft? Petty theft is when you steal something, but on your way out, you just look behind you and you go, fuck you guys, haha. And then you steal the shit. That's petty theft. It's like, oh, really? You have to get the last word in? God, you suck. Just steal the shit. That ink thing is gonna explode in a couple minutes anyways. Just take that dumb shirt. But I ate these 2 desserts after dinner, so I was like, I don't know if I can do this 0 sugar stuff. But then, I was just chilling out. See, that was like at 8 p.m. And to me, I was like, oh, well, the day's over. Because it's fucking so dark outside. So I was like, oh, well, I got to go to sleep soon, don't I? And no, I showered, listened to Tiny Meat Gang podcast for like 2 or 3 hours. And then I was like, oh, it's only 11 p.m. I can totally record this shit still. Let's do it. And so here I am doing it. And eating way too much chocolate today. But that's where we are today. I just want to say, I know, I should acknowledge it right now. This jacket I'm wearing, I fucking love this jacket. I haven't worn it anywhere yet. I'm debuting it online for the first time. I fucking love it. And a few weeks ago, I was talking about, like, when do you know you're an adult? When does that happen? And I really never came up with a good answer. Like, my conclusion actually was like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to call myself an adult, but I think I'm starting to feel like an adult because this week I spent a lot of time online shopping. And you're like, all right, well, what's the big deal with that? No, for clothes. Like, I really like clothes. I don't buy things. Like, I don't spend money. I spend money on, like, experiences and, like, art. And that's it. I don't really buy anything else. And then, like, food, But, like, it's not like experiences and art are happening all the time, right? Like, I don't spend much money. But that being said, even, like, I don't spend literally any money on clothes. But something I've noticed as I keep opening my closet, I'm like, I don't want to wear any of this shit, Like, I don't have any winter clothes. I'm like, oh, yeah, let's put this on. So I was like, all right, let's kind of let's rehaul this thing, And so I went online. I searched up dope, like, warm clothes. And this is the first item I bought. I fucking love it. Also, this is the most fucking money I've spent in one transaction, and it was on clothes. I was like, oh my God. So this is what it's like to be an adult. Because I was like, oh, I pressed order, got the order confirmation, the big ass number that gets randomly generated. And I was like excited. I immediately went to my email. I was like, track my package. And I was like, oh yeah, you haven't shipped yet. I know that. And I've just been checking every day. I'm like, oh, where's my package now? It still hasn't shipped? Okay, yeah, no. You said it was just going to ship in 3 days, but yeah, why would it ship before that? That's a good point. Yeah, no, what the fuck am I thinking? So I bought like clothes. I bought like new shoes. Like I'm an adult. That's true. I mean, the reason I feel okay, I guess, spending this money is because usually every year, I know I would sink a lot of money into like video games. The past year, I think I've spent like $5 on a video game. And so I'm like, oh, well, I guess this is technically that video game money that I would have spent. Which is, I mean, that's not how you should think about things. It's not like you only have a certain amount of money for like these. No, I mean, I guess this is like my pleasure money, right? And so I'm like, oh, well, I guess it's going towards clothes now. Because I'm like, video games aren't that big a part of my life right now. But clothes, feeling good, looking good, that's pretty integral in this time of my life. So I was like, I guess that's what we're doing. And I feel good. And this is the first thing that's made me feel like, oh, you know what? I think I'm an adult. I mean, other things have too. Like, what's another thing that makes me feel like an adult? Just going places. I think that gets slept on. Just going places alone. I know I'm not saying like on trips and stuff, but I'm saying like just going to like the supermarket or whatever, buying shit, saying I have my own bag, just holding that shit here and walking to your car and dropping the milk and you're like, fuck! I think that's what really makes us adults. And I think this is just now the step above just being a basic adult is like now getting invested in like clothes and stuff. So I bought this jacket. I fucking love it. It's green. I'm also finding out green is my color. I'm not saying, I don't know if it looks good on me or whatever, but like I fucking love green. And it's this kind of green. It's like a dark, like olive-ish. It's like I fucking hate bright green. Bright green can go fucking die. If you are lime green, might have to throw hands. I think it's a stupid fucking color. Unless it's like, there's probably an Autobot that's that color from Transformers. He's probably dope. But besides that, get the fuck away from me with lime green. I love this like muted, or this more like low-key green, this like olive color or whatever. I love it. So I bought like, I had to stop myself. I almost bought like a shit ton of olive stuff. I was like, hey, yo, just get a couple things that are olive, okay? Use it to accent the fit. Don't just rely on the olive, okay? Don't live or die by the olive, Don't olive or die by the green. You feel me? So yeah, I'm a new man spending a shit ton of money. It's actually egregious how much money I've spent. But it's an investment. What? I feel like the reason I feel okay buying this stuff is like, I know I'm going to have it for like the next 5 years at least. And so I'm like, oh, I'd be okay wearing these anytime in the next 5 years. So this is okay. It's not like I'm going to have this for a year. I'm no fast fashion, can't come up with an F word. I'm no fast fashion phony over here. That's with a P, but pterodactyl. But I'm no dummy, I'm going to make the most out of my clothes. So I'm like, anything I buy now is for the long haul. This fashion haul is for the long haul. Call it a long fashion haul for this tall glass of water. Anyways, I think one of my I think a bunch of clothes are going to come sometime this week. So I'm going to wear this probably not next episode because I'm realizing this is a very late episode. But probably the episode after Thanksgiving. Yo, I got this sweater I ordered. It's like a comfy sweater. Ha! Whew. Look forward to just wearing that shit just because during winter break, what can I say? I'm kind of a patron of the arts. I'm kind of a fashionista. I don't know what fashionista means. Can I look that up real quick? What if fashionista is not a term of endearment, but it's like a condescending, or maybe it's like diva, because diva you can use in they're a diva, or oh, they're a diva, huh? You can use it both ways. It's like the word bitch. It's like, oh, that bitch, or it's like, go bitch, We've talked about that on this podcast before. But fashionista, meaning, what does fashionista mean? A designer of haute couture? What? A devoted follower of fashion. Okay, yeah. I'm a fashionista. I'm a devout follower of fashion. Absolutely. I would totally agree with that assessment. That's right. You're looking at Davis's newish fashionista. Man, wow. I mean, how do I feel? Honestly, this is such an exciting new stage for me. I mean, fashionista. Just last week, I can't come up with anything. I just last week I wasn't a fashionista. Oh man, nice joke, man. Really good joke. Awesome. I wrote down some notes. I'm noticing like it's better to just write down these like little things because I have so many thoughts every day, but just they're so fleeting, you know, like you have them and then boop, get them out of there. So I'm like trying to make more of a concerted effort. Is that the word? I don't know. To like write this shit down when I think about it. Oh, because I'm already just flexing all this money I'm spending. Why don't I say this? I'm thinking about getting a new phone, and because I've had this iPhone 8 Plus, I think I've had it for I've either had it for 4 or 5 years now, and I'm realizing like the new iPhones are just significantly better than this thing. So I'm like, okay, the reason I've stayed on this for so long is because I love the button, but I'm like, hey, eventually you have to get over using that button. Like it's gonna just inevitably disappear in the future. You can't just hold on because if I want to keep the button, I gotta keep getting this model of iPhone. But like the camera on it is nowhere as good as like today's iPhone's cameras. And you know, as someone that's starting to make some TikToks, you know, I made some for Davis and I made one for Intel. I hope you check that out. It's on Intel's TikTok page. That was so cool to be a part of. Might make some more in the future. Who knows? We'll see. But this camera is not cutting it for TikTok. I don't use TikTok personally. I don't see myself doing that in the near future. But hey, you know, 2 weeks ago I wasn't a fashionista, and look at me now. I had to look at the viewfinder to like make sure I pop my collar. Fucking idiot. So yeah, I'm thinking about getting a new iPhone, like one of the newer ones. And what do you know? This piece of shit, it started to slow down. And I'm like, are you really listening to me? They're like, he's considering buying a new one. Quick, pump that shit full of like, they just pump it full of like malware and shit that slows it down. I'm like, you know, there's better ways, safer ways, more or less intrusive ways to slow a phone down. You don't have to do that. They're like, install a bunch of shit that steals his data. I'm like, whoa, I already have Facebook. Don't do that. I already got enough shit that's intrusive. Okay? Leave that to me. I do all my own sabotaging. I call it self-sabotage. So, yeah, I think, you know, we always joke about it. Like, our phones are listening to us or whatever. Or, like, it's a coincidence. Or, like, is it a coincidence that your phone slows down at this convenient time? And I'm just like, this is, I'm just going to say it's a coincidence because I don't want to give into that theory that, like, they could be potentially. I think that's stupid. I think when someone's like, my phone's listening to me, and now it's slowing down. I'm like, don't give yourself too much credit. No one cares what you say. Why do you think your phone would be programmed to, you know? That's actually false. I think your phone listens to you for like other things, like for ads. I don't think your phone listens to you to then slow down. Like, I don't think there's like a key phrase or something that's going to trigger like your battery slowing down. What the fuck? Why would that be a thing? No. I think just naturally. I think it's a coincidence. I think my phone's already slowing down because I believe that theory. Okay, I believe this theory. I believe Apple was like, okay, 4 or 5 years in, just start slowing your shit down. I believe that. I just think it's a coincidence that it's at the same exact time. I was like, I should get a new phone. I think there's two different things there, you know, they just happen to link up. I guess the timing was just right and they were compatible enough. So yes, what are some other things I wrote down? Oh, I went and got another COVID test this week. I haven't done it very often. Like I did it once almost a year ago. That was the first time I did it, December 2020, because I was doing the There's No One in Town music video, you know, my Christmas music video. And I didn't want to go home without getting tested. So I stayed here and got tested for the first time. And that was when I started this podcast. But that was the first time I got tested. And then the next time I got tested was, I think it was like the second week of this quarter. Because you have to every 2 weeks to get like approved with the symptom survey. But then, you quickly realize like they don't ask for this shit anywhere. So I was like, well, there's no point in doing it. And also, like I said, I'd only go out on Friday. That's the only day I leave this place, and it's to go to a place and then come back. That's it. And so I'm like, well, I don't need to. Didn't take the time to go there. Honestly, if I go there, surrounded by all those people, there's a chance I would get it. So I'm actually being super safe by not getting tested. God damn it. But I went and got tested because there's something I'm doing in the near future that I think requires me to be tested. So I was like, okay, let's get tested. It's a good time. A little bit. It's going to slow down a little bit. I think I can find a little slot to quickly go in and get that test. So I did. I found the time. And God, I suck. It's only my third test, so cut me some slack. But how do I still? I remember I did my first COVID test, and a friend of mine asked me, like, how was it? And I was like, it's a test, right? They're like, yeah. I was like, there's no way I didn't fail that. Like they're like, oh, you positive? I'm like, no. I think if it was like if you're graded on execution, they'd be like, what the fuck? No, get out of here. You definitely fail. Like, I don't know why I suck at spitting into a little tube. Like, I think I am smart enough most of the time. And then I go to spit in a tube and I'm like, God, I'm the dumbest person in just the entire planet. Like, if I can't do this, what does society expect me to do? Like, I have to talk to someone about maybe like, I don't know, getting into some like special program that like I only have to do a very like easy task. Like put me in a factory where like I replace a machine, like a robotic arm. Just put me there. Cause that's all I can do. I don't think if I can't spit in a tube, what can I do? So I go there, they it's the same process. You wait in line and they're like, symptom survey, and you're like, boom, it's yellow, and they're like, that's why you're here. And then you go and they're like, barcode. I'm like, yep. Have your ID out. I was like, yep. Got those two. And they're like, boom, go to this station. And they give you the tube. They're like, can I see your ID? Can I get your birthday? And I'm like, no way. Am I gonna be in your like rewards thing? Like, am I getting like a free test? And they're like, these are already free. And I'm like, right, cool. So yeah, I will get a free test on my birthday. And they're like, yeah, well, everyone will. I'm like, that's so cool. You're doing it for everyone for my birthday? That's dope. And they're like, that's not. All right, station D, sir. And I'm like, thank you. And then you go to that, and then they give you the little water thing. And this is where trouble happens. Well, that is where trouble eventually happens because then they send you to the station where you do the spit take. But that little vial of water, there's a dropper or like a little like bulbous looking thing that has a little like drop of water in it or whatever, just enough to get your mouth watering when you swish it around in there. But then there's a thing they put in like the urethra of that dropper. And I forgot because this is only my third test. I forgot. Last time I took a test was like 6 weeks ago. I've had so many midterms in between that. It's like I forgot where to apply certain learnings. So I didn't realize this thing was like, what this is, it's like a funnel that you then take and put in a tube so you can spit. So you're not just spitting directly into the tube. You spit into a funnel that funnels it into the tube. But I forgot about this. So I just take this little bulbous thing and with the funnels like just shoved right into it like a catheter. And I just tip that shit back and it like spills on my chin. I'm like, oh, like the guy wasn't looking because there were other people around, the like helper dude. But I said out loud, I was like, oh, fuck, you idiot, of course. And then I took the thing out and I was like, okay, good. There's still a little bit of water left. Because if there wasn't any water, I would I would have to take my whole, fingers and just start shoving that shit in the back of my throat and just, just start gagging myself. And they're like, sir, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm sorry, I fucked up. And they're like, no, you're fucking up right now. In fact, you're throat fucking yourself with your hand. And I'm like, I know what I'm doing. But there's enough water, so I don't have to like, what I just said. I tip that shit back, I swish it around, and then I go to spit, and like it was sloppy, like it's always sloppy. Like it gets on my hand, I'm like, you idiot. Like the next vulnerable feeling behind like getting a bunch of spit on your hand in public is like how I felt in the shower earlier. Like those two, very vulnerable week for me. You know, that's why I'm getting into fashion because I need to, I need to regain some of this confidence I lost. But just there's spit dripping down my like left hand, and I'm like, thank God there's napkins, or else, you know, people are like, whoa, you were quick in there, and with a hand looking like that, I guess I know why you were so quick. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I only put spit in the tube, and they're like, yeah, sure, okay. It all starts to look a little bit the same, you know, very opaque. Oh, there's a word for that. I won't come up with it. But yeah, there's just spit all over my hand, and then I top it off. You know, I screw in the cap. I asked the guy behind the counter, and I put it in the little nacho tray. I scoot it towards him, and I'm like, "Is that good?" And he just very nonchalantly was like, "Yeah." I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean this? What do you mean? Yeah? What do you mean shoulder shrug? Huh?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna open that shit up again." So I was like, "All right." I mean, he said it, so he's legally. If this fucks up, that's on him. You know. It's really on me. I would have to go in for another test. But I grab a napkin, I wipe my left hand clean, and I go outside, and I walk all the way home. I even talked to a guy. I ran to a guy, and we talked 5 minutes. Then I walked home. Actually, it wasn't even when I walked home. I walked like halfway home because on the way home is when I went to Trader Joe's. And I definitely caught myself before this. But like halfway to Trader Joe's, I look down and there's like spit on my goddamn shirt. And I'm like, bro? Bro? What the fuck? You just spit all over yourself in that fucking gymnasium? What the fuck? You know, in like 3 months, I'll be a college graduate. That's why I think people with like degrees, I'm like, who gives a fuck? You know? I still what is it? Slobber all over my goddamn self when trying to spit into a tube, and they give you a helper funnel. That's like someone getting a gutter ball when they use that ramp, you know, in bowling. That's the equivalent of what I did, except when you know, get that gutter ball and you turn around and look at your friends, your just torso is wet with your own goddamn fluids. That's how I was earlier this week. That's the equivalent. It's like a gutter ball when you spit all over yourself. And you know what? Spit, there's something purposeful about spit, but there's something very, like, sad about drool. It was really drool because it just like, you know, spills out. Spit, you know, it's like, psh, it's like, psh. It's very direct. You have spitting contests. No one's doing drooling contests. How far can you drool? That's not a thing. Everyone's drool goes straight down. And then if there's a little, you know, breeze, a draft, get you right there. And that's where I was, in a very vulnerable position. Anyways, we only have 2 weeks of school left, you know? Isn't that crazy? We just wrapped up week 8. Actually, this is week 8. So I'm recording it right before the Friday of week 8. It's 11:51 p.m. And yeah, next week is Thanksgiving, week 9, then 10, then finals. Then there's a week, and then I almost said Halloween. And then it's Christmas, and then boom, it's New Year's. And guess what? 2022. Jesus. It's going to go by fast. Let me tell you what. These next few weeks, going to go by fast. Going to go by in a flurry. Call that shit McDonald's with Oreos. Because this shit's about to go by in a McFlurry. But no matter how fast it's going to go by, it still gives me just enough time to become a true, fully evolved fashionista. That's right. It's only going to get better from here. I can't wait to show you that comfy white sweater. It's going to look so dope. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't think I could wear this in public, but I look very much forward to showing you. I will definitely wear it in public. It's a piece. It's a statement piece, if I say so. I don't want to tell you too much about it, but be on the lookout for that. I'm about to look so fucking cute. That's it. There's nothing else to that. Awesome. I realized I didn't really talk about much this episode. I talked about Hershey Zero Sugar, desserts, and then getting tested again. And that's actually what this entire episode was. And the little things I wrote down that I wanted to talk about, well, I never got to them. But that's okay. Because this episode was recorded on Thursday, so that was my week. Now when I record for 3 days from now, I can go to my phone and I have other stuff to talk about. This was actually, if you think about it, calculated. So boom, get mathed up, bitch. Sorry, diva. Sorry, fashionista. From one fashionista to another. Thanks for watching. I'll talk at you later. I'll talk at you next week. No, I'll talk at you in a couple days. Sorry, all this brain power is now used for sweaters and fashion that I forgot how I end these things. Anyways, I'll talk to you soon, okay? Bye.